Are we going to talk stoner stocks? No. Are we going to talk how Tesla got trounced? No. Are we going to talk about the dollar dump or the gold jump? No. Today, we're going to answer some questions about a sell and a buy, because sometimes you just feel alone and you just need someone to talk to. And of course, my sole purpose here is to screw things up for you. But just remember, you only get what you pay for. So, let's take a look. Romeo Acoba has asked a question about ideanomics. Romeo bought a chunk of stock and it's gone ballistic, and now Romeo wants to know when to sell. And after getting over my initial envy, I gave Romeo the options of selling some stock to get the original investment back and letting the rest run. Other options would include selling half now and the other half later, or just hanging on for the ride. But I thought it'd be better just to take a look at the charts. So we're looking at a 3-year weekly chart on Ideanomics, and the symbol is IDEX. And for disclosure purposes, I do not hold any shares of IDEX at this time. So you can see from that March low, it's run up here and gone parabolic. Nice stock to own. So looking simply at the price chart, going back here into late or mid or late 2018, naturally, I think the stock is going to have a hesitation like it is here. And like some of the other stocks, like perhaps gold and maybe even the next stock we're going to take a look at, you have this trailing off of the price. That is one potential, such as this trailing off here or this trailing off here, and then the stock runs. Trail off, the stock runs. Slight trail, but then a run here. So that's one potential, especially at this point here. And so you would see a cup and handle if that occurs. The other thing is perhaps it hits this top and just sells off like it did back here. Well, you never really know. So the first thing, you need to understand the fundamentals and understand them inside and out. Can the stock continue to run? Are the fundamentals supporting it? I don't know anything about the fundamentals, so I'm strictly looking at the chart. So moving on down here, we can take a look at volume. Certainly volume has gone up quite a bit, which is good and which you would want. Looking here at the MAC, the fast line's at this point with the slow line here, so there's still plenty of acceleration that's occurring, and I think you have plenty of time for the fast line to turn over if that's what it does, like it did here. You definitely have, say, about a month or perhaps a few weeks to watch that fast line move down and then through the slow line. So you have time to see if that's going to happen. Of course, if you anticipate that's going to happen like that, then you might want to sell. But you still have time. Let's go back up to the price chart. Look at the previous time. Once again, you had that top here. It did sell off, but it came back up here for another attempt, and it failed at a lower level and then finally went down. That's another potential. So you have 3 potentials there. All right, moving on down here, it looks like the histogram is continuing to accelerate. You want to watch that before you see any sort of topping process. Topping process could happen pretty quickly there, but you did have, say, a few weeks or so. Moving on down here. Now, the price rate of change is giving you a little fishhook here, as it did perhaps, say, in this time frame there. So watch that and be careful. Here into the RSI, you're in the overbought area of the chart, so it hasn't been up there, but say for a few times going all the way back there and there. So this may be short-lived. On down into the stochastics, you still have a pretty good separation. You have acceleration. It's not in that overbought territory yet. It's aiming for that. If it gets there, we don't really know. But the Williams has, and the Williams has given you a little fishhook here. And so hopefully you can get some sawtoothing up here You had a little bit of soft toothing up here, but you definitely had that rollover. It came down, came back up, and then that was it. Here, you really didn't have anything. Same there, same there. And here, of course, you came on down, but you held through here, which was good. You had a nice roller coaster ride on that one. Going back up here to the price chart, I would say, first of all, you need to know the fundamentals. And frankly, I would say sell off some and then let some ride. But watch it very carefully because this could decline pretty quickly depending upon the fundamentals. But as for the chart, it looks nice all the way from here. At this point, you are now most likely closer to the end of the run. But who am I to say? Let's go to the next chart. In my recent megacap melt-up video, I looked at some FANG stocks, and as a result, Dr. Pepe asked if now is a good time to buy. So I've picked Amazon stock to take a look at. And so what we're looking at here is the 3-year weekly chart on Amazon, and the symbol is AMZN. For disclosure purposes, I do not hold any shares of Amazon at this time. And simply looking at the price chart, you can see this pennant formation with that bottom trend line heading up and this top trend line heading down. Now, once the stock moves along here, it gets to a pinch point, and oftentimes a stock can either pop on up or head on down. So what are the probabilities? Well, let's take a look. Volume looks fine. Here in the MAC, you can see that we had this top at that point there, but the MAC, the fast line has come on down, and it looks like it's bottoming and resetting and wants to move on up through that slow line. So we have a pretty good divergence here. We have a pretty good downdraft in the MAC, but the price chart, you have this upward moving price trend, and the top line isn't really all that significant. So I think that the greater probability is for the stock to pop and head on up. You can see some of that here. Histogram, nice bottoming and basing, and certainly wants to head up. Into the price rate of change, this is picture perfect. Nice bottoming, basing, reset at the 0 line. I think it wants to head up. Same thing with the RSI. Look at that, all along that 50 or midline. I think it wants to head up. Stochastics is telling you the same thing. And then the Williams. Nice bottoming, basing, and moving on up and above that 50 or midline. Back up here to the price, I would say that the probability is that Amazon wants to head on up. But again, that is my opinion, and you only get what you pay for. And for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.